Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your racing helmets because the moment we've all been waiting for has arrived. Brace yourselves for the earth-shattering news that fan-favorite Daniel Ricciardo is making a triumphant comeback to the Formula 1 grid. But wait, there's a twist. In a jaw-dropping move that has sent shockwaves throughout the racing world, Ricciardo is set to join forces with AlphaTauri, replacing the unfortunate Nyck de Vries. Nyck de Vries has been a topic this season as he hasn't scored a single point this season, and Ricciardo, the star of Netflix's Drive to Survive ever since his shocking dismissal of Mclaren, has been in the talks of a sensational return. But will this move have more meaning? Join us as we delve deeper. It was revealed that Nyck de Vries has been let go by AlphaTauri after a disappointing start to his Formula 1 career with the team. AlphaTauri has now officially confirmed his departure and announced that Daniel Ricciardo, who is currently the third driver for Red Bull, will take his place for the rest of the 2023 season. AlphaTauri would like to announce that Daniel Ricciardo will be joining the team on loan from Red Bull Racing for the remainder of the Formula 1 season, starting from the upcoming Hungarian Grand Prix. The team stated, De Vries, who hasn't scored any points this season after scoring on his debut with Williams last year, will be dropped from the team before the Hungarian Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo, 34, will join Yuki Tsunoda as teammates at AlphaTauri starting from the Hungaroring race. The team currently sits at the bottom of the constructors' standings with only 2 points. Red Bull initially signed Ricciardo as their reserve driver for this season, not expecting him to step into a race seat so soon. This move brings the Australian driver back to one of his former Formula 1 teams. He previously raced with Scuderia Toro Rosso in 2012 and 2013, before being promoted to Red Bull in 2014. Ricciardo had a strong performance during the turbo hybrid era, winning 7 races and gaining popularity with his vibrant personality. However, he eventually left for Renault when Max Verstappen took the spotlight at Red Bull. After leaving Mclaren at the end of last year before his contract expired, Ricciardo rejoined the Red Bull family as a reserve driver. The 34-year-old Australian decided to take a break from racing to recharge his energy after his demanding time with the working team. However, he has stayed prepared for racing and recently completed his first test with the current Red Bull RB19 car. Ricciardo has now been given the opportunity to compete in 12 races with AlphaTauri. This is a chance for him to demonstrate to Red Bull that he has rejuvenated himself following his departure in 2022. It could potentially position him as a contender for the Red Bull seat alongside Max Verstappen, challenging Sergio Perez. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner expressed his delight at Daniel Ricciardo's performance on track after his time away from racing. Horner noted that Ricciardo has maintained his skill and progress, as seen in his simulator sessions, which translated into impressive lap times during the recent tyre test. Horner expressed excitement about the remainder of the season and Ricciardo's opportunity to showcase his talent while on loan at Scuderia AlphaTauri. Ricciardo previously drove for AlphaTauri when it was known as Toro Rosso in 2012 and 2013, before earning a promotion to Red Bull's main team. Daniel Ricciardo achieved 7 of his 8 Formula 1 victories while racing for Red Bull alongside Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen. After his tenure with Red Bull, he went on to drive for Renault and Mclaren. Nyck de Vries, along with fellow rookie Logan Sargent, has been unable to score any point in the 2023 season. De Vries struggled to match the pace of his teammate Yuki Tsunoda. AlphaTauri's performance has also been disappointing this season with their AT04 car. As a result, the team currently sits at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship with only 2 points after 10 races. Red Bull's patience, especially that of driver advisor Helmut Marko, wore thin with Nyck de Vries, the former Formula 2 and Formula E champion. After just 10 races, they made the decision to replace him. Previously, Max Verstappen, Red Bull teammate of Perez, has been vocal about his frustrations with Perez's performance. Verstappen expressed his disappointment after Perez failed to make it into Q3 during the British Grand Prix qualifying session due to a strategic error. Verstappen emphasized the importance of both Red Bull drivers reaching Q3. Verstappen, who secured pole position for the race and won the race, hinted that he feels like he's fighting alone for Red Bull to win the Constructors' Championship at the moment. While Verstappen has won 6 out of the 8 races this season, Perez's recent decline in form has hindered Red Bull's ability to have both drivers on the podium. Expressing his frustration, Verstappen commented on the qualification, "I'm not sure why it went wrong today, but it's crucial for our car to make it into Q3. When asked about his teammates' performance, Verstappen redirected the question to Helmut Marko and Christian Horner, suggesting they would have better insights. He expressed his belief that he is currently carrying the team in the fight for the team championship. Verstappen's previous comments after the Canadian Grand Prix followed a similar tone. He implied that Red Bull's results would have been much worse without his presence, stating that it's one way to view the situation. Perez's inconsistent form has led to speculation about his future with Red Bull. Verstappen needs a stronger teammate to secure the Constructors' Championship, and Daniel Ricciardo, the reserve driver, has been mentioned as a possible replacement for Perez. Verstappen acknowledged Ricciardo's contributions in the simulator, noting that he's not surprised by his performance. Despite Ricciardo's challenging years at Mclaren, Verstappen believes talent doesn't fade away and emphasizes their comfort and rapport as teammates. It's worth noting that Ricciardo had previously stated that he would only join AlphaTauri if he was assured of a seat at Red Bull. This raises questions about Red Bull's plans regarding Sergio Perez for the upcoming season. Could Perez be facing a potential dismissal from the team? Max Verstappen is not the only one critical of Perez. Former Formula One driver Mark Webber also criticized Sergio Perez for his performance at the British Grand Prix. He attributed his early exit to low tire temperature, while his teammate Max Verstappen secured pole position once again. Webber didn't hold back in his critique, highlighting qualifying as Perez's weakness. Speaking to Channel 4, Webber bluntly stated, "It's pretty clear that qualifying is his weak point at the moment. When there are changes in conditions that make it trickier for him to understand and get clean laps in, he struggles." Webber also emphasized the importance of performing well in all conditions, jokingly mentioning that even he could make progress in races despite being an old fart now. He acknowledged that Perez needs to improve his qualifying and adapt to mixed conditions, but expressed confidence that he can succeed at this level. Perez started the race from 15th position due to Valtteri Bottas' disqualification, which sent him to the back of the grid. Despite the setback, he managed to finish in 6th place, earning 8 points in the Drivers' Championship. This result allowed him to maintain his second position in the standings with a total of 156 points, ahead of Fernando Alonso. Daniel Ricciardo's performance for the rest of the season in AlphaTauri will likely determine the outcome. It's great to see Ricciardo back, but it's doubtful that he'll be able to shine in that car. He needs to consistently outperform Yuki or he'll be in trouble. However, I'm also unsure about how much longer Yuki will remain with the team. I was prepared for a mid-season change, but I didn't expect it to happen before the summer break. It's not surprising that Ricciardo was chosen for the remainder of the season. However, it would be ideal if he's just a temporary choice, and Lawson becomes a full-time driver next season. Otherwise, the driver program would lose its purpose. Daniel Ricciardo was finally back behind the wheel of an F1 car in 2023, as he participates in a Pirelli tyre test at Silverstone. This test is crucial for Pirelli's development as they gather important on-track data. Following the 2-day test, teams will vote on whether to ban tyre blankets for the 2024 season. However, it appears that the vote may not pass, meaning tyre blankets will continue to be used next year. As Ricciardo familiarizes himself with the RB19, he had a spin at Luffield, the same corner where Nyck de Vries reportedly lost his AlphaTauri seat during the Grand Prix weekend, according to Dutch media reports. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.